Hello everybody, welcome back to a new episode of Railway Empire 2. I am at the same spot where we left last time and we're going to follow a cargo train to supply Amsterdam with all the fixed-rate goods. The only problem we have is that this train is actually heading into the wrong direction. So we hope it will settle and do what it has to do. Problem is probably caused when it was rebuilding Amsterdam station, so we'll see. The general purpose for today's game is to, well, get enough funds, not just to buy up some industry, but also perhaps even more. Okay, it's still heading in the wrong direction. Even more to get the funds and buy up the last stocks of my AI competition. I'm not planning to keep running on a railway line heading in the wrong direction. So we're going to remove the train. This one going to Amsterdam. That one is heading to Amsterdam. That one is heading in the wrong direction. So we simply add 2 more trains and start all over, just like I did last time. It's getting a little bit annoying. But I want to get the funds to buy up my AI competitor, so every 15, 20 million I will pause the game, buy 5% of stocks, and we continue. We have, I don't know, 30% to go, I think. 25% to go. And she's going down fast because right now it's already at 1.9. Last time it was even higher, so she is clearly having a problem right now. That one is also heading in the wrong direction. She's clearly having a problem right now with things being in control. And the main reason for that is that I've been buying up several of her industries. What's the meat industry doing? Not that high up. There's also sawmills here. Nothing yet. Can't buy anything here. Luxembourg is mine. Mine. That's already mine. That's hers. She owns the stuff in Paris. I own this. Let's see. Khan region. Meat industry 0%. Fashion industry going down. Everything is going down on her side right now. This one doing 0%. I think I broke her. Ah, I think I broke her. That would be great if I actually managed to break. Yep, I think I did.
What are you going to do with that? You're
I'm going to make money out of your business. But like I said, I think I broke her. If her stock
have fun with your new toy.
has dropped
I wouldn't care for such things.
to 1.9 when last time in previous episode it was still 2.5, 2.4,
Aren't you surprised?
then I've broken her income. 2.2 left.
Finally, you win an auction too.
So the next one will be the fashion industry. Also means it will take a little bit longer before I'm able to buy some of her stock. But at 1.9 and going down, I don't see the problem anymore. Let's remove the map so we have a little bit more. So we'll see what's going to happen. Looks very nice, at least for me. Now let's see. I'm just waiting. Incoming train? No, can't be. Must be exiting one, so that one. Yep. This works quite nicely now. except for there's the occasional too many trains. Waiting for four platforms, so I can always use this part for another station. Yeah, I'm also using this as a warehouse, so that may complicate things too. Now let's focus on my other train, because that one has reached Amsterdam by now. Oh well, we've been riding this bit for so many times. Looks quite nice now. See, we have to go to the app terminal. Also, it does enter the side track, so that part works too. So there we go. And that nice moment where a cargo train is almost catching up with the express. Almost. Certainly is a nice view. Now if I would have luxury train, luxury passengers train next to it, we actually may have three trains next to each other. Not sure if I'm going to do 6 tracks though. Now this one has to wait. There's simply too many trains here. 4 tracks for passenger and mail, which makes sense. 4 tracks for everything else, for cargo, but I'm also using, no, I'm not using 4 tracks for, that's the problem. That was the problem. I removed that one track. See directions. This is out. And I need to do this differently. I found a very good solution. Which may actually work. But I also need to adjust the stuff. We just hope it works. Crap, it doesn't on this side. And it doesn't on this side. Come on, game. Pick up. Awesome. So I'm still stuck with one platform short, but that's the reason why I have problems. Because we have these 2 tracks coming in into 2 platforms. We got the platform in the north, and I turn this into a 4 grid. I can't. The other side, I can't either. So one solution could be what I posted before, what I mentioned before, and instead add a second train station here on this side. If I use the right keys, things will be working better. To make sure everything from the east never mind. That would make things too complicated, I think. Just wait until it's a little bit bumpy, but I think it will be better. Just hope that it does good. And there's the other one, number 1. So at least the part from Lille to Amsterdam, the last part of the route, is working as intended. So the cheese to Amsterdam is working as intended. That's good to know. So let's see how things are going with the stocks once we reach the 15 million. If she's at 1.9, oh hang on, if she is actually at 1.9 million for one share right now, I'm going to the 25 million and we can buy up 10% of the stocks in one go. Because at that point it will be 90 million plus increase when somebody buys up stock. So that would be 25 maximum. Which would make things even better. Oh, waiting? What? He not? No, he's not. Okay. Oh, he was just slowing down because of the switches. Right. I wonder how those apples taste with all that sugar on top of it. I'm going to make another adjustment to the line. 7. And once he's finished, I'm going to move that to 8. If I do it now, it may actually mess up the entire routing again. So we certainly are going to resupply some. Okay. this is 7, and with that one then we move to 8. Can I add another? No, I don't. Then this one can move to 6, and the other ones leave Amsterdam. So that's these tracks. Platform 3. I don't think I know why. That one. Now let's see. Yep, exactly. So we're off to pick up milk. Let's see what happens. Things should be going fine now. So it should go from Amsterdam to the station with the milk, then head on to Hamburg where it will pick up cheese and beer. That's the plan. Hey, no refill? Okay, so that's going to happen on another. In the end, I'm going to fill 2 tasks, which isn't that bad. I haven't looked at them, but beer in Schleswig region, that's certainly a pain in the butt. Going to fill that one. The other one, making Groningen the largest city. Yeah, that's also very hard. It was very hard to achieve, considering Amsterdam was actually my starting city. Starting cities always have the advantage of grow bigger. If I had focused on Groningen, it may have been possible, but I didn't want to do that, so it's sort of a choice. So we're picking up milk, and we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to go to Hamburg. 1,200 loads of beer, and we currently have 250. So that's, I think it's actually bugged. Son of a, this is getting very annoying. Let's see where this one is planning to head to. Every time you make a change to tracks, everything screws up. Amsterdam. So that means probably this one.
Not that I don't enjoy myself, but
I think. Oh, it's not one of the trains going to Delta Beach this time. Actually, it is. I think. Selina. Yeah, 23,000. That's what's doing it. Still, this is also caused by all the trains I've making mistake. She's at 2 million again. So I need 25 at least. Platform thing works. Is heading to Van Wijk. Yeah. So apples. So facing the right direction, so at least it's heading to Amsterdam, which is good. Now we just have to wait for things to remove. That one is paper and chemicals. That one goes to Eindhoven with, I think, paper and chemicals. So that goes the way it should. That one is dropping off chemical. So that part, yeah, I think the warehouse is one of the problems, but that part works quite well. It's 1 million. And if let's wait for 25. Monthly income is my weekly income is nice. If I don't spend too much money, things may go quite well. This one should end at platform 7. So 1 3 on the right and all the other ones 3 on the left. If that happens, yeah, it does. I can actually unload 2 trains of the same supply route right now. So our next step would be to go to Varus Rest and then we're off to Hamburg. Considering we ended up at the right platform this time, it actually worked. Finally. At last. Whereas REST also means that we can bypass the Apple station. $5 million. Here we go. 1 million. The price is going up. So we'll end up at 2.2, but it's 2.1105 now, and it ends at 2.12. So I'm adding a little bit over 100k, but we're also at 85%. Our stock is 1 billion. Or, yeah, for the moment I was confused because billion in my country is actually 1,000 English, American, no, American English speaking billion more. So it's another 3 zeros. But this one is having American quotations, American markings instead of points. We use commas, so it's billion. I managed to have 10 stocks in this company. Starting in 830, you buy it up quite cheap. Then 17 years later you sell it off, you're a billionaire. You have to work the rest of your life. That's for sure. There's another train with milk, same line, that goes fine. That constant use of the horn, it's very annoying. I made a suggestion about it, I think I've mentioned it before. I never got a reply and there is still no option to turn it off. At least not in save games. Milk to Hamburg. That's not much. That was Groningen. Oh, probably Bremen and then Groningen. So that red line we saw is what's blocking the train from the start of the gridiron, so that wooden bridge, up to the end of the next gridiron. Currently, I can't show it. Yeah, I can. Can't anymore. But that train, this is what I meant. So the moment there's a certain distance, the train is able to start going. And that has to do with the gridirons. That has to do with switches. And the same happens here. Currently waiting for the train. I don't know which one. Probably the one that's leaving our screen right now. Everything related to switches and gridirons is blocking trains to move on. There has to be a
That's
certain...
what I call a real breakdown. You should exercise more control.
not at all. There is always a certain distance outside the station area where trains won't move on until that entire path is clear. My guess from what I've seen is that point is actually the first signal on the pole after the gridiron. So for this train, anything after that would mean that pole. So there will always be enough room between the trains for one to speed up and for the other one to keep distance. Hey, I haven't. No. That's silly. Sort of made things harder here by never adding the other tracks. And I think the big lag we have is the game recalculating all passings in regards to this station. Nothing industry, yeah? 6.4, 50% off.
Aren't you surprised nobody bid on it?
Okay, we're loading up with what? Beer? One beer. Okay. Big question right now. Where does it head to? I'm using a 4-track grid timer here, so things will be easier for handling. And we got one more beer for the mission. How beautiful is this? Graphics are similar to Transport Fever, but how beautiful is this? One beer. I have to wait until we're able to turn a little bit so we see what this looks like. It looks like it's not a tank. I think it's more barrels. Actually got on the wagon. See? Two big barrels. And we have to wait for him. No, this is the battlefield. I really like this view. Let's see. Should we be, hopefully, able to buy another 10% of the shares? Would be very nice. extremely close to the lowlands at the moment. And I see in the distance Amsterdam. Or is it Groningen? I think it's Groningen over there. Now imagine at some point we have to add more stuff. Because in 1850 we're going to unlock iron, tools and steel. That will complicate things even more. So that also means, for starters, that I have to buy and upgrade the coal mine below. But more important, I will probably have to add another train route, picking up coal, iron, to a steel factory, to a tool factory, then to the warehouse where I can pick it up, and from the warehouse I have to set up routes to supply several cities. So that certainly will be interesting. And this train is heading in the right direction. So that part is going well. This time we should end up on the left tracks. I have to zoom out a little bit right now. Get a top view. It's skipping them, getting on the right grid iron, and yes, very good to go. So that part works too. So from Hamburg off to Lille. There's the sister line, there's the line for the wool. Currently off to Lille. I'm thinking that I actually should pick up a gap here. going to do that next time. First we go southwards. So for the thinking ahead, can you already say, for steel industry, well, steel will probably be dropped really below. That's rule enough, but fuel can be dropped elsewhere, but the warehouse needs to be more centralized. And I can later use the same warehouse to distribute oil and cars I'm getting at some point. Eindhoven, Brussels, green flag. Well, in 1847 Belgium wasn't independent, so that's fine. Lille is France, so I'm curious about what kind of flag we get over there. There are already a few errors regarding flags in the game anyway. Like Porto being Spanish instead of Portuguese. Well, was even at the time. The branch flag, so that's good. We open up meat. That was prioritized, so that's good. Now we're here. She owns the meat and cheese factories. That's not good.
With your breakdowns, maybe you should.
It's the same train over and over again. Won't do anything about this because it's heading to that station where it needs get maintenance anyway. I'm going back to my cargo train. There it is. million. So, neat. Never seen the cars on the top actually, but it looks like there's crates of meat inside the postcard. Well, actually, once again, gondolas, but never mind. And this is what happens if you don't spend that much money. All of a sudden you make a few million profit. In a quarter it's not much, but we also spent 22 million on other stuff. If I add that, we have a 25 million profit. In the quarter, 61 million income, 45 million total out, reduced 22 and it was 24 million. So that makes it 48. So this number basically indicates that's very, very nice. It's going down. That is still making problems. Now let's see. I always forget. Why do I log out? It's 8.2 million. 25. Okay. We have 21, so at least 25. Amsterdam, off to get milk. Then we're off to Lille, so instead of taking the turn we did here, we actually have to go that path. So it looks like everything is working as intended. And more and more thinking about adding a second station here. Because right now everything is blocked. Although on the other hand, the moment I'm able to get on the switches, the problem is solved. All these trains are actually dropping off and picking up stuff from the warehouse here. And we are supposed to take a turn from the warehouse. So it's not that bad. It's also that these trains often come very close to one another and then return again, so no, I don't see that much of it. See? 26 million. Let's go for the last 100%. Last 5 will cost me 12. Although it's an hour 25 minutes. So let's go on until I got 100%. Let's go on until we have about 15 million, a little bit more perhaps. Why are we waiting here? Oh, he's waiting for that track because he wants to take the inner. See, that's one of the problems, that the trains want to use the shorter route. So there's a train loading here, there's a train loading there. We have 4 tracks available, but instead of taking the one outside and then going back, it actually wants to take the shorter route, which is blocked by the 2. Same thing here, the 2 trains that are actually passing through. So I can change that by simply dropping off a waypoint on the way in and a waypoint on the way out. In this case on the way in, because we have to go to Lille. Let me see. I won't be able to do it now, I have to do it once. So I have to drop a waypoint between those 2 or add another platform, which in this case would be platform 3 or 4. Yeah, 3 might be good. So I can drop it, order it to go to platform 3. And for Hamburg, no, I will set Hamburg to platform 3. One less. So as you can see, it's already going outside now. And once we're done loading this one, okay, that's done. Edit. So this one is going to 3 or 4. Down virus. That one going to 3. So this one is going to 4. And the return from Hamburg, still taking the short one. However, if I add waypoint here, it will go over platform 3. It still may be forced to wait, but if it's free, it can simply move on. The other ones can stay. Start one can stay here, where it is. This one is dedicated Hamburg back, Amsterdam, to Lille, Amsterdam, to here, to Lille, Amsterdam. Confirm. Focus. Off we go. Send to milk. Yeah, I got another one from milk. So. This is going well. Should again pass here, which it does. Then at Amsterdam, at this point it should follow that one which is going over the bridge right now. That's the idea. Let's see if it actually does.
Such a breakdown is really typical for you.
Ah, is simply a problem with Urban. I wonder more and more Katowice. Yeah, I do have a maintenance depot. Then why that one's okay. That one's okay. Bonus for new industry. We currently have meat. Let's see what we can drop in here. Ulrich has paper. Anything having paper? Yeah. Oh, on the same route. Chemicals. Pottery. to be very quiet in the library because it's located between two train lines. Never mind. I can't do. Oh, that's fun. I can't do iron industry in. Well, let's see what we have here. This is oil. Ackerman is iron. Frankfurt 81k. From 90,000 we have. Okay, so I could set up iron industry in Frankfurt. Yep. Good. But I'm currently riding a train to Amsterdam. No. It's way to Lille. There it is. Hey! What the bloody hell? Only because of that waypoint? I think so. Oh man, everything is screwed up again. Why? Everything is going wrong right now, simply because I added a waypoint, but after the waypoint it was going well first. That one is off to Apples. That one is off to Lille, but in the completely wrong direction. And that one is off to Amsterdam Cargo with nothing.
Have fun with this worthless junk. I purposely did not bid here.
No, but that's because you don't have any money. And we're going to find out pretty soon why. Other than you're using the wrong trains. At least this one is going in the right direction. So let's see what happens. Hopefully this one will do. Who's going to here? Yeah, that's right. It has to pick up. Wait, I think it pick up any. Not sure. Unless will be needed. There we go. There we go. No longer expanding. Well, she wasn't participating in portions. She wasn't. Will continue to be optimized. Okay. That was not mentioned until I actually put it in the patch. In feedback that even when I owned 100%, AI was built by new trains. And also expanding, but I think that's changed now. Now let's see merger. Cash minus 12 million. Right. 1.9, so still minus 12. That's the reason. Like I knew it happened. Then I get 33 million in return. So I'm going to do this, but that means I need 12 million to start with. Goal achieved, ladies and gentlemen. I own 100% of her shares, and as soon as we have the funding, I can start ripping her apart by buying up everything, and at that point that orange blob is gone. That means it's also going to need a lot of tweak Uh, that won't be long. So 12 million won't do. I need a little more. I can do this. Hey, I could issue bonds and have several million. The thing is, at the end of that term, I need to have that amount of cash, including interest, available. I don't like that. I rather use my own funding. Waiting, waiting. I don't think this will be taking long. No, we're already moving. I would rather use my own funding and simply connect everything to my network and replace everything she had by my locomotives, my trains, my routes, as that would make things better looking, more beautiful, etc., etc. So we're going to continue. Let's add another 30 minutes and we've done 2 hours. After that my whole throat is probably gone. So let's continue for a while. Keep struggling. And at some point do the merger and start reorganizing. Reorganizing is going to take several episodes because I have to do the entire French and Swiss area. Ah, need to do a change over there as well. Well, not yet. I think I've been so carried away at some point that I actually got to optimize some of the stations the very early part of the game. That's one waypoint here, one gate is screwed up. Or at least the route is on. think if I'm going to redo a series about this game, I start at the same age with a complete different map, and just for fun will keep the AI struggling for a long time. Even when I'm able to buy up their stock, even when I'm able to merge with their company, keep them in the game, just so it's getting a little bit more, how to name it, lively. To get a full stock of meat, did I prioritize my things? Yes, I did. Okay. So the next goal is doing the merger, optimize all the trade routes, and once that's done, start buying up each and every industry we don't own yet, optimize that. I may have to optimize my trade routes as well. And from that point on, it's simply moving on from one era to the other. I'm still not sure if I'm going to Scandinavia in. Maybe fun. I'm not certain if I'm going to do that. Although Brussels certainly does have the opportunity for it. Of course, I can't use Morel station this time for the stop. So Brussels may be the stop where people switch, or Lille maybe, then we move from Lille to Clermont station to Dover. That's an option as well. So it's something to look at. But first, the merger and the optimization. That's going to take a lot of trades. I have to remove a lot of warehouses. Because AI loves to use warehouses. You need to put post office restaurants at stations. already have a direct, no, not a direct, already have a route from Amsterdam to Lille. But what I also can do is setting up the routes I showed on the map actually. Amsterdam, Eindhoven, Brussels, Lille, London, and back. There's plenty of passengers available to make that journey, so it certainly is an opportunity. And the name for that route would be Eurostar, which is the current route, the current name of the route used nowadays anyway. But moving on to the subject I was mentioning earlier, if if I'm going to do another playthrough, it would be another map. And given everything we have, I think the India map would be the most fun. Right now I still have 70 years or so to go, almost 100 years to go. So I'm not thinking about it because I want to go through all the content this game has before switching to another one. But India would be an interesting map. Second, I would keep the AI alive even after owning 100% of the shares, simply for the annoying comments and all that. But the map would be looking more colorful to start with. I mean, currently it's mostly white dots. At some point, instead, with the AI being there, you would have the orange from one competitor, the yellow from a second, the blue from a third, and the white from me. So that would make things looking a little bit more interesting. Auctions would be more fun. So yeah, things will be better up to the point where I actually own everything. That sounds nice, but yeah, up to the point where I actually own everything, and at that point start the mergers and readjust. Another thing I would do is how to set up train routes using more waypoints to make sure that trains passing through stations actually use different tracks, use different platforms for each route for loading, unloading, kind of like what I was doing in Transport Fever 2. So the whole flow of things would be better. That's the lesson I have learned of those 70 years gameplay we went through. That's certainly possible. But I would once again play from the start all the way to the end of the era. I will do that in this playthrough as well. But going through the years will be easier now because you don't have to stop that much. So it's more waiting for research to be done, getting new trains, follow those, maybe setting up some new trade routes when we have new industries come up and all of that. Because, in all fairness, we have notorious replication, ability of higher quality saboteurs. Well, sorry, but in 1870 there is no AI competition left, so let's use it. I will still get all the technologies. I will still get all the technologies because there's achievements, which is one of the reasons why I want to continue my entire playthrough. But think of it. We have to go up to 1900s. We can go beyond, but nothing will happen. 1900. We're in 1847 right now. So that's 53 years to go. The first 70 years were fun, occasionally annoying. The other ones will be more boring. Although, yeah, at some point, like getting the new trains, I can replace some stuff. I will have to think about some things. Because, like, should I take the Bourbonnais for all my freight trains, which is actually a dedicated freight train, are going 57 kilometers an hour, while the Rhine is currently doing 59? Or should I move on, skip that one, and move to the Waverley class, which is doing 70 kilometers an hour, but it's actually mixed, while the Continent is doing 73 kilometers an hour. Logic would say use that one because it's stronger, speed-wise this one may be better. So that's the choices I'm going to run into. Then I will have to keep running Le Continent for quite some time, which means at some point we get the Dragon, which is actually doing 54 kilometers an hour. So the Bourbonnais is better, but his effective power is less, better. This one has better effective power. That's the big difference. Until we get to the Halda, and then we're able to get the better express train at 78. That's almost at the end of the era, and we get the Mogul. So in general, the mixed trains are doing better. The cargo, even with a somewhat worse effective power as the cargo trains. Class F 59, 54. So we may actually stick using the dedicated cargo trains for a long time. But like I said, those are all kind of things I have to consider in the next parts of this game. But in general, building parts, track laying, all that is almost finished right now. The only time that I'm going to do that is after I bought the company, when we did the merger, which is very close to happen. I will start with the merger in the next episode. We will finish this route once. To the end and call it a day. So that's Amsterdam, Varus, Lille, back to Amsterdam, and when it's off to Varus West, it's the end of the day. I'm going to add a little bit more. Maybe I will use a dedicated cargo trains, but that's not because of the speed, but simply for the tractive power, because they will have less problems. I may also use the Waverley in certain areas, like over here in Spain, where we have especially this route, this part from the Reyes station here, this area, and the one from Barcelona and back. May actually use the Waverley class over there, because the high attractive power and a near similar speed to the Boulonnais may actually be better for the average timing on the route. I'm not certain. And the same goes for the Italy and the Balkan states. So we'll see about how things are going. But passenger tracks with lots of steeper angles, the Waverley may actually be better. Let's pick up some milk. Go to Biel, pick up cheese, return to Amsterdam, and we're done. The bottom line of all of it is not just the lessons learned, but I will also start using those lessons learned in the rest of the episodes up to the point where we actually finish the game in 1900. Like using trains with better traction on routes with lots of climbing, like using dedicated cargo trains on certain routes instead of the mix, so preferring strength over speed. Speed is still good, but if that's why it's only for the switches. If the cargo train is able to accelerate faster than a mixed one, and average speed is 4 kilometers an hour less, but because of the better acceleration and because of the better traction, it has less problem with steep areas, why not use it? So yeah, there are a few things I will have to do. Another thing I may consider, although that will be tricky, is seeing if I'm able to add a third station to some cities. Capital cities being one, because I could put a maintenance post there for the mail trains, but I can also utilize passengers more by having a restaurant and a marketplace, so making more profit. Yeah, that's the problem. That did increase about 1.4 million, so that's good. But this is simply miscellaneous costs. is still at 2 million. If I do a merge, it was 12 million. 12.5, okay. I'm not going to do that because there's no way back. That one's dropping, but it will go up in a bit. We were having a worth of 1.1 billion. There. Currently we're at 1.127, so about 4 million less, which is that much. So we went from a net worth of 4.6 million to 1.118 billion. Okay. This was the worst part. I really was trouble. Then I was able to break out of it. No, actually, yeah, this was the worst part. Between 1845, February and October 1845. That was the worst part. Everything was going downhill at that point. Then I changed some things and all of a sudden everything worked again. So, everything's cool. I have to pick up some milk because the 2 hours pass, so you get a very long episode for free. Yeah. So we have to one more time. Like I said, once we end up in Amsterdam, trip restarts going to Van Wijk, then it's the end for this episode, so let's enjoy our cash income. Time being. Need more. Look at profit. I simply don't have enough storage. Using 16 and I just don't have enough storage. That's the one which wants a complete wrong direction. Look at that. It will break down at some point. Then in Amsterdam it will getting maintenance. So that one's also off to Lidl. That one's off to the wrong direction. I really hope that it won't happen to my train. Well, they're all my trains. This is having the same problem. as that one. And this is also heading in the wrong direction. Well, everything is being folded up right now. Because things aren't going the way it should over here as well. We're off, okay. That one went in the right direction, okay. So it actually turned there. Hmm. Yeah, that shouldn't matter. We'll see. Here's what will happen once we do the merge at the start. Reworking her entire network. I think my funds will skyrocket. By the way, I mentioned transports being two, well, somewhere in the past 2.5 hours. I've been checking the news about transport 333. And that game is going to be very
With
interesting.
your breakdowns, maybe you should think about better maintenance of your trains.
One of the things I saw is that they're going to add more goods, so that will be nice. Another thing is, yeah, because of the more goods, things will change in demand. New industries, new machinery, all of that. But they also are changing the whole chain for goods. So, okay, this one is actually heading in the right direction. So the other one probably was still bugged out for whatever reason. The other two. Still, like Transport Fever 3, they are going to rework the entire chain of goods. Like what they use for an example, and that also gives away one of the other things you have. A city demands beer. To produce beer, you need wheat from a farm, and usually in the old game you send wheat to a distillery and you got liquor. Well, I don't even think the game had it, but something like that. So basically you send wheat to a food plant, and the food plant was doing the liquor, the bread, the cake, the cookies, everything requiring flour. You send wheat to a chemical plant for chemicals, plastic. That's it. In Transport Fever 3, you're sending the wheat to a brewery and nothing happens. Because that brewery also needs glass. So you have to transport glass to the brewery, and combined with the wheat, you end up with beer which can then be shipped to the city. However, glass is also requiring a resource, which is sand, which will be, quotes, harvested from lakes or sea, rivers, things like that. So the whole resource part is going to be reworked in that way. Because of that, it will be more complicated, also more fun. Another thing they showed in the two news trailers they had is that the whole landscape will be completely different. Much more, the landscape will have a lot more influence on the resources and the transportation as in previous two versions of Transport Fever. So that will make it interesting too. We have a breakdown right in front of us. Yeah. Supply 2 with meat, which was heading to Amsterdam and is currently stuck. Well, since it does anyway, might as well mess things up again. No, I only will do this side. Because otherwise I will run into trouble again. That has to be the other way around. least the mail and passenger trains have different tracks now. Everything's being recalculated again. We also have another train moving. Oh, it was simply him. But this is very inconvenient. Because it happens just when I don't need it. Instead, I'm going to do this. Problem solved. It's what we do nowadays. If it's broken, we don't fix it, we throw it away. Now, it's more that I want to finish this part for today. And that whole breakdown is holding things up and making things dragging on while it doesn't have to. I'm curious when we get the bigger transport cars in general. Big passenger cars to bigger cargo cars could be 80-50, but I think it will be around 80-60, 80-70. That change would be nice to see. Though I just hope it won't crash my computer when that happens. It's very likely that if it happens at some point that my game will basically stop running for a while. Because all the images of trains up. We'll see about that. Still got to have a look at the kind of flag we have in Brussels. That one is loading meat. So it's off to another station. 6 probably. Yep. Hopefully we don't get waiting. Stuff again. Oh, and we're next to the cattle plant. Look, all those cows over there. We're loading up on. Let's zoom in. But we're loading up cheese right now. 4, 5, 6. Full load. Building is in the way. We may be able to see it soon. No, we won't. We actually were able to see little cheeses through the opening in the roof. Currently we don't see any. Pity. Yeah, we do now. All those yellow dots we see. I can't highlight the train because the whole train turns white. We don't see it. But the yellow dots we see are cheese. We can see a little bit of that every once in a while. But once again, the moment I move on out, that's cheese we see on the train. By zooming more, we get this. So. This time I will pause the game to see the color of the flag the moment we enter the station. I think it's Belgium we have here. And that's now. Yep, it's having the Belgian flag. Okay. Missed transport too. We are going to do another playthrough that once we're done with this. Instead, I don't know yet. Hence it when Transport Fever 3 is released. Because if that's released not long after I finish this one, I may actually play that one playing it demands the system. There's lots to do. Now we have to move on to the year 1900. First priority is the merger, but that will happen at the start of the next episode. I promise. Spit it, otherwise we get another problem. But this time I will do that as soon as we enter See, like I said, you see that whole traffic jam, and then not that much later, everything is stopped. So it's really some sort of rush hour in that zone. Four tracks. Count bolts. Although this is not too bad. Should have taken another path. This is not too bad. Yeah, I'm enjoying this view. Look at that. You see the train coming in from the right, crossing the bridge while we are passing Hungary. Is that just rubber band? There we are, Amsterdam cargo station. We're about to enter the last part of today's episode. Basically did a double episode today. Die bateau. What I'm going to do now is add a couple of waypoints. But only for the train not coming from Amsterdam, but coming back Amsterdam. So I hope with this I'm able to divert traffic a little bit from. No, I'm not going to do it like that. Yes, I am going to. Yes, sorry, I need to think. I am going to do it like that. But I hope to divert the traffic a little bit from the central tracks to make things running smoother. And with that, this one is heading the wrong direction. Should have, or maybe not. Let's see. I think it's going in this way instead of that. Yep. Oh, no, it isn't. It's heading to Amsterdam. Oh, no, so that's good. That one is driving left. That one is heading back there, which is good. That one is off to Lille, having a breakdown. A small breakdown, but it's showing as orange. But that one should be good because it will be repaired here. That one being loaded and off to Amsterdam. So things may look good now. Bring the map back up. So for now, thanks for watching. It's been a long episode, double what I usually do, and it messed up quite some plans I had for today. But yeah, that's my problem, and I will deal with that. For now, thanks for watching, everybody, and I do hope you've been enjoying it. Next week, we're going to do the big bang and remove the orange off the map. 46 million may help. Lots of rebuilding being done. So that will be fun, for sure. For now, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next week. Have a good week, everybody. Goodbye.